Hi everyone, Oh My Giona here, and it's been a few days, but I just can't help but think about One Piece. I go to work and it's like, One Piece. Just One Piece 1015, episode 1015 was such a masterpiece. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit more, and in doing so, if you're an anime only watcher and you've been thinking about switching to manga, I kind of wanted to give you some insight as someone who reads the manga weekly and also watches the anime. Cause episode 1015 was just too good. And the thing is, I was watching Uzumaki-kan's reaction. I watched it yesterday, and I knew that he wanted to switch to manga just because he keeps getting spoiled in that situation with the rooms in his house and all of that. But after he watched 1015, now he doesn't feel like switching to the manga. And I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. So here's the thing, like the anime, it has some problems. I have problems about the pacing. It's not consistently good, or at least not as good as 1015 every week, which is, I totally understand. It's a weekly anime. They can't really do a lot with the time that they have. And then they have to keep releasing it every week. So I understand, like, that's totally fine. But for episodes, especially the ones that Megumi Ishitani directs, with her people who are just amazing, almost like cherry-picked, then we get episodes like this that are just amazingly good. So here I want to talk about the anime first, or this episode in particular. They really did so much. Comparing it to chapter 1000 in the manga, it's 1,000 times better. I say that as a manga reader. Like for example, when they showed that, that beautiful sequence of Ace and Sabo, Luffy, Whitebeard, Roger, and Odin, and then Yamato listening to Ace talk about it, and then that beautiful transition with like the flipping of the pages, indicating that, okay, this part is what's told in Odin's journal. And Yamato was in the middle, taking everything in, and just how it was done was beautiful. In the manga, you can't really do that. They were just panels, and it was pretty short. Ace said, "Oh, my brother said that. I'm not gonna let you laugh at that," and that was it. In the anime, they really expanded on that, and it was beautiful. With Luffy, with the different color going in there, saying, I'm gonna be, but he didn't finish it. That was beautiful. The additional just interaction between Yamato and Ace that was not in the manga. And then they showed, we knew that Yamato made Ace a Vivre card. It wasn't even shown, like the Vivre card wasn't shown in the manga, but in the anime they did. And they also showed them, like what her reaction was when it started burning. Back then, all we could think of was that, oh my gosh, she made Ace a Vivre card. That's how she knew that he died. And just imagine how devastated she was when it started burning. But seeing it in the anime and how they did it, I talked about this in my reaction, with the colors. Yamato saying goodbye to Ace. It was very hopeful, very colorful. She was waiting for the day when Ace comes back, helps her get out of the island and start her journey, just like Odin. And then when Ace was in trouble and his Vivri card was burning up, Yamato runs to the edge of the cliff, the edge of the island basically, and then it became dark. It was dusk. The sun went down. All colors were gone. It was very dark because it symbolized her losing her hope as Ace died, that she would not become Odin. She would not be free. And she'll just be in that island forever until she dies, which is just very sad. And then I noticed this while rewatching for like the nth time. But when she was trying to break off her cuffs, and because it was dark and it was lighting, it made sparks because she was hitting metal to metal. It was very emotional because she was trying to get off her cuffs and try to save Ace, do something. But I noticed that as she did that in her desperation, it looked like she was trying to make a spark, like making a fire, bringing some light into her hopeless world. But it didn't make a fire. She was just bleeding and she was left there. It also reminded me of that scene from Whole Cake Island when Sanji found out that Pudding was faking it and that they're gonna kill everyone. He won't be able to get back to the Straw Hats. The life that he thought he would have with Pudding, it was just a dream. And him trying to light his cigarette, his lighter was not working, just kept dying. It was like that. Because for Yamato, all hope was gone and she was trying to reignite that light, but it was gone. But then she heard Ace's voice. She remembered what's in Odin's journal, and the red was back. Like it wasn't from her, but it came from Kaido's side, like the light. But it ignited something in her, and she said, I'm gonna wait for Luffy. We didn't see that in the manga. We just assumed those things. And so it was really nice to see it added and animated in such a beautiful way, with all the colors, the lighting, the acting. It was so beautiful. And then what else did they add? Oh gosh, that transition from Law looking at the poneglyph, the dropping of that a little bolt, it becoming part of Kid's power, them going up there, Zoro flying, Luffy. Those were just panels in the anime, in the manga. And to see it move and done in such a fluid way was just amazing. So much better than the anime. But more about that later. Oh my gosh, the manga. See, I'm like just losing it now. And then another one that they did really well was Luffy walking to Kinemon. In the manga, it was just him walking there and saying his lines. But they gave us that comparison of when they said goodbye to each other as they head to Onigashima. They were all happy and hopeful. And colors, right? It's the colors that they use. Bright colors. And then it shifted without any warning to Luffy seeing them all on the ground. Beaten. Bleeding. Defeated. Hopeless. And the colors were dark like blacks and reds and just very dark colors. That was so well done. And then, oh my gosh, I think this is the best part of the whole episode was the sequence of, like, before Luffy did the Red Rock, there was this flashback of everything that happened from, when did it start? Zo, well, they showed Zo, no, they didn't show Punk Hazard. Zo, Raizo is alive, Pedro dying, them knowing about the samurai jumping to 20 years, everything about Odin, Yasu, his sacrifice, Momo, everything. Okay, so in the manga, it was just this double page spread, a little bit of like the present happening here. There's that flashback sequence and then him hitting Kaido. And back then we were thinking like, oh my gosh, how are they gonna do this in the anime? Just because it's kind of off. It's in the middle. It happens in the middle. Oh, but my gosh. My favorite part of the episode. Whew, because it switches, oh, so beautifully. And they were, how do I say this? The positioning of the people, the setup as it flashes, they were all similar but different. And it was just so well done. The music, oh, the music. It was perfect. They were like snippets of what happened, what helped us get here, the whole story, years and years and years. And as a manga reader, we've seen that a long time ago, and it just hits really hard. Oh, they really topped themselves with that. It was amazing. So, and then the Red Rock, of course, with the detail of it almost looking like the Mera Mera no Mi as he punches Kaido. It's just so well done, like everything. These are just a few points that I especially liked. So here's the thing. This is such a good episode. We don't get this weekly. We get it like every 20, 30 episodes whenever Toei feels like, okay, we have the money for this. Get Megumi Ishitani, everyone like Mori and the top of the crop, cream of the crop. Bring them all in. We have the money. It doesn't happen weekly. That's the thing. And it's kind of sad because just imagine how good the anime would be if this is what we're getting on a weekly basis. It's not their fault. They're really doing what they can with what they have. And I'm not blaming them for that. I'm really grateful that we're getting this weekly. But if we just say like, oh, I'm gonna, and not even consider manga just because the anime was really good, then that's just kind of sad. Because when I read this in the manga, it was like I am not hearing it. Like there's no music, right? There's no color, just pure manga, just reading it. No voice acting, but it hit the same way, you know, like it was very emotional. It was chapter 1000. Oh, milestone. Beautifully done. It's just as good. And so if you're worried about switching, like it's not going to be as good because it's just manga, there's no voices and no music and no colors, don't be discouraged by that. Still consider switching, just because it's gonna be just as good. It's sad. I'm really regretting that I did not do a reaction to chapter 1000. I have an audio of it somewhere. I remember reading it really late at night. And I was like, screw it. I'm going to read it. But I didn't have a reaction. This is before I started doing reactions on YouTube. I think I started actually 1001, 1002. But the hype of chapter 1000 was part of why I started it. And shout out to King Recon. He's the one who inspired me to do this, to keep a journal of my feelings at the moment, because it's gonna pass, you know, and it would be nice to look back later on and see how it felt like the first time I read it. And so I started this, but not during chapter 1000, which was sad. If I find a recording, my voice recording, I would put it somewhere here.
To do so. He truly believes that he can achieve it, so... It's in there! It's in there, I swear! Oh my gosh, I wish like Ace actually read that and saw how great his father was. Ace! This describes the future. Oh my god, I'm not ready! No! Oh god, I'm shaking. In about 20 years, it is the next generation of powerful pirates that will lead the new era. They will arrive to the new world, and if I were to die, they will be the ones capable of taking down. So it's gonna be a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Killer's gonna be there. Zor's. Yeah. No, it's Skinny-Mon. Skinny-Mon and the other guys probably dead. Just ignore 2 Yonkos, man. This is him after this. I'm crying. Yo. No way. And Noah's just distraught.
But yeah. And then my biggest thing about telling people to switch to the manga. I mean, you can still watch the anime anyway. But just imagine when the One Piece gets revealed. Like the actual One Piece, right? When we find out what it is, I would just feel so devastated if you guys get spoiled. Because it's going to be on the internet. It's going to be everywhere. You can't stop people from spoiling it. You would have to live under a rock for years just to not get spoiled. But if you switch to the manga, that won't be a problem. You just have to stay away from social media at most a week, you know, like, which is not too bad. But I would just feel so bad if people get spoiled to the end of One Piece, or when Luffy reaches Laughdale. It would just be so sad. Just imagine following this for so many years and then it gets spoiled for you. No, just no. Like for me, I started with anime. As a kid, I've watched it in dub in my native language, and then I forgot about it for a bit. I think it was 2012 when I decided to rewatch it from the beginning. I caught up around Punk Hazard, and then knowing that there's more, I switched to the manga, and that was during Dressrosa. And back then I was reading spoilers because the spoilers come out earlier. But for some reason, there was this 1 week that I did not look at spoilers. I guess I was busy and I just didn't have the time to do that. But I didn't look at spoilers at all. Read the chapter. It was chapter 731, if I remember correctly. It was the Sabo chapter in Dressrosa. Oh my gosh. Like, I could not imagine how I would have felt if that got spoiled for me. Because reading it without knowing anything that's gonna happen, without knowing that Sabo was gonna come out in that way, it wouldn't have hit the same if I was spoiled. And so since then, I stopped looking at spoilers. Tried my best to stay away. I would just, like, when it's Tuesday or even Monday when the spoilers are early, I would just not look at Twitter or not even YouTube, but just stay away. Because it's just different, man. Like, you gotta read it firsthand, and seriously, it would feel the same way, I'm telling you. If you're switching from the anime to the manga, it would be the same. It would be the same. But of course, you do you. There are just some people who enjoy things more when they have the sounds and colors and all that. But just lobbying here, hoping you guys would consider reading the manga just so that you won't get spoiled. And I'm saying this out of love. Because if it was me, I would not want to get spoiled. Like, ugh, that would be awful. And when it comes out, when the One Piece comes out, there's no way you guys won't get spoiled. Like, for real. There's no way. I try my best not to spoil people with thumbnails or just in general. Like, I would post and be like, yo, it is so hyped and all of that. But I won't go into details because I don't want ruining it for other people. But other people might, and other people would. So, yeah, if you're still wondering about that, I mean, it's really good right now since One Piece. Roof Piece has started. It's a really tough decision. Still, you get the anime and you get the manga. Why not switch? Right? So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. Because it's beautiful. And join us in the community where we just theorize and talk about headcanon all the time. Because you can't do that. Well, you can still do that in anime, but then it's kind of like, yeah, we've seen that already. So, yeah. But I don't know, when do we recover from this episode? I'm just thinking of what's the next one that Megumi would direct. They're just so good. Like, the details that they put. If they weren't big fans of One Piece, who really love One Piece, they wouldn't be able to make such a masterpiece like that. Because you can see, like, even when Ace fell asleep, he did that back then when he was with Buggy. Even in Arabasta, he fell asleep while he was eating. And him, like, wiping his face on Yamato's clothes. He did that in Arabasta with some lady's clothes. That was a nice touch. When Yamato explained about the Vivre card, those were the exact same words that Luffy said when he got that paper from Ace in Arabasta. And he said, well, there's just paper. And Ace said, this paper will bring us back together. And that's exactly what he said when he was with Yamato the first time. And details like that, it hits you as a longtime fan. And them adding that, it means they are longtime fans. And they really love the series. It's just, I feel like the manga is really good, but Oda can't fit everything in there. There's no way. He gets, like, 16 pages a week? And that's all he has. He can't really put everything. And so the anime's job is to make it better. So if you think that the anime is better, that's good. Because it has to be better. It has to be better than the manga. That's their job. To make what the manga gave us and built it in a way that would make it even better because they know more by the time that they're making it. So yes, the anime is better than the manga, as it should be. But still read the manga, people. Anyway, I'm just like ranting here. Thank you so much for watching. And no, we don't have a chapter this week. I will upload my reaction to the One Piece Film Gold. That took me forever to watch. I don't know what's gonna. I'm not gonna watch the recap episode. I've seen that so many times. Yeah. So I'll see you guys next Thursday when the chapter comes out, and I think I will be reacting to the anime. Just because it's Roof Piece and it's gonna be hyped, I know. You guys have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.